Hi folks, welcome to One Van and One Camera. I'm going to be call this episode One Van and One Virtual because I'm going to take you all a virtual trip to London via Manchester. And yeah, in previous episodes I'd been doing things like green screening myself into a garden, calling it the virtual garden kind of thing. But I think, there's more we can do with this topic, green screen, so let's get on with it. Oh. Yeah. Someone's having a good old time in the toilet. Well, from the years of travelling on buses, you never know what could be happening in the bus toilet from one minute to the next. But anywho, there's more important information I want to give you in the news. Travelling news. A group of people had travelled 250 miles to get a McDonald's order. The actual full order came up to more than £10. They had travelled 125 miles each way. Why spend 70 quid worth of petrol? It makes absolutely no sense. It's potty, and apart from anything, they're still giving out fines. Right, I've got a wee bit of nice news for you folk. BBC Children's Laureate Michael Rosen has survived the COVID virus due to the absolute tenacity and wisdom of the NHS. They were able to get him away from coronavirus and the dangers it has. He's back up on his feet and out of the hospital, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I want to move on to Scottish news. Lockdown has been slightly released in a social sense, in that you can leave your house for an undetermined amount of time, as in there's no time restraint, and also you can go somewhere and meet up with a small group of friends, no more than 8 in total, and you can do things like tennis and some types of football. So it's all good, but ultimately it's not a good enough point where you think, I'm going to gather around the posse, get a train and end up in Ardross and Harbour at the beach with your posse chewing on mushies. Not acceptable. But anywho, it's a good step in the right direction. Right, we've got to think of a motorway service station stop, and basically this is where the bus stops are like 30 minutes and we can have coffee, go to the bathroom or use the other facilities this place offers. I think this one has a, what's it called, a Burger King, but I'm not really in the mood, but I'm still hungry nonetheless. Right folks, we're at Manchester. You can clearly see by the big ornament behind us. Yeah, we've got 30 minutes of a break again, but I've dropped the driver a bong and hoping to have, instead of 30 minutes, 45 minutes or something, because I want to get some Chinatown. Bong, bung. Oh my god, there is a difference between a bung and a bong. And the topic I want to talk to you today about is the comedy roast battles. They originally started over in America, and they constitute as one comedian insulting the other until submission. Roast battles came into the UK, then up to Scotland. I don't know about anywhere else, but ultimately it's always a nice comedian versus a nice comedian being horrible towards each other. It's horrible to watch a nice comedian versus nice comedian, it's all, I always view it as car crash TV. I mean, people do laugh, of course, 100% they do, but ultimately it's more of laughter of shock than anything. I mean, you never actually see any of the comedy's nasty community versing each other, because comedy's nasty community, they can give it out but they can't receive it back. even an entry level one, so we'd have one of them dialing 999 instead of 101 because they're gutsy, self-indulgent bastards. But yeah, I don't view the roast battles very high at all, and it actually makes you feel awkward sitting in a room watching two of your comedy favourites getting right into each other. It's like awkward. I mean, I know it's all done in all good taste, but still, it just makes you feel like kind of a bit awkward and on edge. There are other things I can do with my life. Opting to wrestle with the bag of mozzarella because I can't find the pair of scissors anywhere within the kitchen cupboards, drawers, you name it, can't find it, and been wrestling for 5 minutes until it dispensed its payload of mozzarella, and I was able to get my pizza made after all. Glasgow life. It is evening. I've just missed the bus by about 30 seconds. You could actually just see it pull away. The next bus is due in 1 hour and 21 minutes. Glasgow life. When you have a communal gate and the Amazon guy leaves the gate open, that invokes that neighbour that shouts out abusive remarks towards you because the delivery guy's left the gate open and she thinks it's something to do with you. Glasgow life. When you don't use a certain walkway or pathway after a certain time at night, otherwise you get your head smashed in. Glasgow life. Being ultra careful when you're opening up the telephone box in case there's somebody having a piss in there or having a cheeky wee shot on a bong, or even worse, having a blowjob. Glasgow life. After eating all of that food from Chinatown, it's not exactly a particular surprise that I'm rather thirsty, so I've walked round to the Canal Street area and went in and got myself a drink. So at this point in time, I want to toast a success to the episode. Let's get cracked on. Mind when we used to have Bash or Dash in one of the American Camera episodes? Well, we're going to have a thing called This. Pretty similar premise, so let's get cracked on. First person I want to assess is Ellen DeGeneres. Looking at her, she doesn't look any more than 40 years old. The reality is she's about 60 years old, and whether the success be from good makeup artistry or good genetics, I don't really know, but she's rocking it anyway. The next person I want to talk about is Avril Lavigne. When she was doing her rock videos in the early 2000s, she looked amazing, and in 2020 she still looks amazing, and by my future reckoning she'll look amazing. Next person I want to assess is the guy from UFC. I don't know exactly his name, but it's clear he's got good assets. And the next person I want to assess is MotoGP's Marc Marquez. Clearly he's had a bit of a scuffle on the road, but ultimately he still looks buff, and that ass must be a pleasure to have. But my hope will never die. In real life, will I fail? Because some people's postings don't ring well at all. I fail the anti-English posting. Stop! Yeah. Always on Twitter, always on Facebook, and it's been going around since about late 2013, early 2014. But all these people casually tend to forget their mum works for Transparent Express, to be posting that kind of muck is, if anything, rather audacious and cheeky. A real life fail: disgraceful lawnmower parking. I get the idea this lawnmower in question is a push lawnmower and it wouldn't have its electrics buggered by rain, but ultimately if it's left out in the rain in such a disgraceful way, it will eventually seize up the insides of that lawnmower, because no matter how much oil you chuck at it, it will eventually penetrate and get blade cells stuck. Disgusting. A real life fail: written away the safety tape forbidding people to use on-platform facilities at a railway station, and people going to use it on platform facilities like benches, shelters, stuff like that. People that do that are incredibly selfish and could potentially be infecting the station furniture. Now, this is what I call be careful, and it's Section 44 employment notice. It wasn't being posted around Facebook for long, but it ultimately is a big cause for concern, because there's this post cutting about social media saying, you know, if you think your workplace is an unsafe place, preach to the boss Section 44 and you don't need to work. Well, it might work, but ultimately it'll work to get you a P45, because how patronising is it for a worker to go up to the boss and just say, Section 14, I'm out? He can very easily just turn around and, well, I'm out with you then. P45. I win. Lockdown entertainment. And that is basically people like karaoke, people that cut around the UK doing karaoke for folks, but instead of doing it at venues, they do it on like Facebook and Zoom and stuff like that, and it is really, really cool. There are a lot of comedians out there that are doing Facebook live comedy, and it seems to be absolutely fantastic. And a big win, the ultimate win, real life win: Captain Tom Moore doing all these laps round his care home and raising millions upon millions of pounds for the NHS. That is brilliant. I mean, the NHS is very tightly strung for money, and that amount of money he raised is enough to make things a lot better for the nurses and maybe even the patients. Right folks, just want to say thank you for joining us on a very experimental thing called a virtual journey. I hope it's went well and I hope you've received it well. In July we'll be having another episode, and depending on what lockdown restrictions are, that just wholly dictates what's potentially going to happen. But ultimately, until July, stay chill, stay safe, and much love. And remember your 2 metre distance and you're washing your hands. But until then, catch you later.